Do we have to tap the sound? You look like you're all muted.
Hello, and welcome everyone to our celebratory live stream. This is so exciting for so many reasons, which I will get into throughout this live episode. We are our 1-year anniversary of Después Diagnóstico. I am here with co-founder William LaFerriere, as well as our co-founders of the Spanish edition of SBC, SurvivingBreastCancer.org, known as Después Diagnóstico. I'm here with Brenda Coronado and Lourdes Jerez. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And backstage, which we might call on stage in some point throughout the evening, we have an amazing A-team. So shout outs to Milena Suarez and Elisa Herrera, who are part of our amazing team supporting all of our programs, both in English and Spanish. And so tonight, we wanted to just take a moment and connect with our community members and let you guys know a little bit about what we've been up to this last year, really taking you from the journey of incubation and idea all the way to amazing grassroots efforts and the reach and impact we've had in literally just 12 months. And so we thought we would bring you on this amazing journey with us as we celebrate our 1-year anniversary of Después Diagnóstico. William?
Hi, everyone. Welcome. This was a bit of a dream that was created after we at SurvivingBreastCancer.org attended the 2022 June 06 ASCO convention in Chicago. And it was a convention of all of the best and the brightest minds in oncology from all over the planet. And when we were presenting what SurvivingBreastCancer.org did for with regards to programming and education and whatnot in the breast cancer community writ large, we were asked by a number of international oncologists whether or not we could scale up into their country and their language. And of course, we immediately said yes. That was the epiphany. And so subsequent to that, we immediately translated our entire website into Spanish. We did several other languages, but the big one was Spanish. And we wanted to capitalize on that for a couple of reasons. One, we felt that the Hispanic community, not only in the US, but all through Latin America, suffered from cultural barriers, socioeconomic barriers. And we were looking, with regards to breast cancer, and we were looking to break down those barriers and invite people in to share their experience to help with resolving the medical issues and the mindsets of the Hispanic population suffering from breast cancer. So that said, we reached out to Lourdes and to Brenda to assist us, and I'm telling you, they flipped us on its head. In their words, they said they wanted to explode the baby. So here we are.
Don't translate well.
In Spanish.
That being said, let's go, Lourdes.
Well, thank you so much for having us today. I think this is really exciting for both Brenda and myself, just to see that we have come a year now. It's amazing, just from last year to, just a thought of, okay, let's go ahead and start this translation. Let's go ahead and start, how do we provide the services that we have in English, in Spanish? How do we make our community aware and available in terms of the Spanish speaking audience that we have and the need that we have here in Arizona, in Boston, I mean, everywhere in the United States, and now we're seeing everywhere in the world. After the conference that we attended with the nurse navigators too, we had a lot of requests from South American oncologists for the information that we were providing. And I think that we were super fortunate that we connected with a lot of them through that conference, and they were able to partner up with us and collaborate. We had our first, I remember our first speaker, Dr. Elena Rodriguez, and it's like it's just a snowball effect after her. Now we're, being asked by other oncologists, by other professionals to be invited in the podcast, just because it is information that we need in the community. It's information that we need to have and be available, because they take an hour out of their day and provide us with so much knowledge. And we may be the experts on information that it's only limited to our own cases, but they bring so much knowledge that other participants take advantage of that and are so appreciative. And so this is just so wonderful and so beautiful. I always say that this is a group that I never wished I joined, but because I had to join, and in a unfortunate way, I guess, but it could haven't been with a better group of people. And I am so thankful for Laura. I am thankful for William. You guys make of this amazing organization. Oh my gosh, it's like I can't say enough. And I always say, you guys save my life. You guys are saving so many lives, because if it wasn't for these services that we have, believe me, we would be so depressed. And there's so much information available that you guys provide, and it's keeping us busy. A lot of the providers are thankful that they are coming on board. And so, yeah, there's a lot of great opportunities. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of things that are coming up in the future. There's so many programming in mind that, with a public health background, it's just amazing the amount of opportunities that we are going to expand this baby.
Yes, exactly.
Explode.
So my question for Brenda as well, and thank you for the introduction, Lourdes. And again, I always say too, I hate that we're meeting under the breast cancer circumstance, but we have really met some amazing people. And we remind myself that yes, we've been diagnosed with breast cancer, or we're caregivers for someone who's been diagnosed with breast cancer, but we have a whole toolkit behind us with, you were just mentioning public health backgrounds, education backgrounds, IT, software, etc. We can bring these resources and our expertise to really help the betterment of a nonprofit organization like survivingbreastcancer.org, and also serving the gaps that we're seeing in terms of resources. So Brenda, I want to ask you, because a lot of times, William and I were talking about, okay, are we doing this, right? Are we getting out of our comfort zone? Yeah. We don't speak Spanish. We're like, hola, that's about it at the moment. We are trying to learn, but like we're getting out of our comfort zone, doing something that is slightly, kind of against the odds, because we're still growing survivingbreastcancer.org in its kind of toddler phase now, being about 6 years old, going on 7 years old. And so when we called you to say, hey, we have this idea, and we also know that it is kind of rubbing against the grain to some degree, because a lot of people in the Hispanic and Latinx community don't necessarily talk about their health and illnesses, right? Or family history. And so for the two of you to say, yes, I'm in, and I'm going to be vocal about this. Brenda, I would love for you to introduce yourself and maybe share what was going through your head when we asked you to take this dive with us.
Yeah, so as you guys know, I was diagnosed last year in April. So when I met SBC was probably like about a month when I got after my diagnosis, and I couldn't find resources in Spanish. Because it's my first language, I was thinking like, okay, let me find something in Spanish, even though I speak English, but let's try to find. And I really couldn't find a good resource and a good website to everything that was going through my mind, between what type of surgery, what type of treatment is coming to me, what does the pathology, like, so all of that, it was just not found in my own language. So that's why I started researching in English. So when you guys came to me, and I remember exactly that day, because I was like very sad because I couldn't log into the Turtle Night Drivers that I normally used to after I got diagnosed. and you guys were just arriving to Chicago to ASCO. It was even before the night before it got thrown the idea. But I remember when you guys days later asked me, like, do you want to help us? You want to participate? I was like, yes, because I've seen it firsthand that there's not anyone else doing this. There's not all this information. The passion of the people that we work in SBC is very important. So that was the main seller to me. Like, yes, I can provide this to my people and offer all these services that are for free and help them. And I told this in our podcast a couple of weeks ago, like, it just like fills my heart every time that we touch that one person in one meeting or one art therapy or even in a conference, to speak with them and just like relate and say like, yeah, I'm here for you in our own language. It's just amazing.
Really powerful.
So Lourdes, maybe you can take a few minutes and describe some of the programming and events. And I know that typically Elisa handles as the director of program management, but maybe you can speak to the various programming and events that we offer to the Hispanic community through Después Diagnóstico.
So yes, the goal is to pretty much mimic some of the resources and programs that we have available in English to be available as well in Spanish. But I think that through that process, we have been very fortunate to, because of course there's cultural barriers, there's cultural differences, and we have been amazed on the amount of willingness and availability that oncologists have, not only oncologists, but psycho-oncologists, also the art therapy that we also have with Stephanie, and bless her heart, she speaks Spanish. So what an amazing fit. It was just meant to be for her to transition from English to Spanish and be able to provide that information as well. The art therapy is just a way of us expressing those emotions that are hard to perhaps share with your own family members, perhaps share with someone that is close to you, because sometimes what I hear a lot, and which I hear, is that some of our family members love us dearly, but there's a point in time when they don't want to hear it anymore. And we have to also provide those resources to the family members so that they are better equipped on helping their loved ones. So that's our goal within the next couple of months or year, to provide those resources. We are going to be inviting a oncologist or an oncologist that is going to be providing more information in a broad perspective. We have opened it up to now all cancers. We have opened it up to not just breast cancer, but cancers in general. Just because we are going through the same emotions, we are going through the same needs, we are emotionally, the support that we need, it's the same. So why not opening it to the Hispanic population and the services that we have virtually? But so far is the art therapy, expressive writing. We have the psycho-oncologists that are coming up, and they're going to be providing our workshop. As a matter of fact, this Saturday is going to be one with also a OBGYN who's going to be providing information on of course, the female parts of cancer and how it affects, but also the psycho-oncologist that is going to provide a series of 8 or 9 sessions throughout the next couple months. I think they're going to run from August to December, and they're going to be providing on how to deal with the emotions of a cancer diagnosis, how to include your family to assist you with certain things. So it's just like a series of things that are needed throughout this diagnosis that, as Brenda mentioned, is like when you're first diagnosed, it's a shock. I remember when I was first diagnosed, it's a shock, and I'm like literally looking everywhere, searching the web just to find out some sign of hope. Now, I don't advise for Dr. Google to be searched, because that's not a good idea.
No.
So what I
Dr. Google.
avoid Dr. Google. So what I did is actually I looked up for information on breast cancer, and that's where the breast cancer conversations, Laura, came up. And I remember like listening the whole day on the podcast, the different podcasts, the different
Oh my God.
one. It taught me how to say and break the news to my kids. I
Mm.
remember that very clearly because I was diagnosed 4 days before my daughter's birthday. And so how do I let them know that their mom has been diagnosed with breast cancer without me knowing even what the diagnosis entailed? Because when you're diagnosed, they don't tell you the details. They don't tell you how far, if it has to spread, what stage, nothing. I mean, I remember looking at the nurse practitioner that was giving me my diagnosis, and she says, I don't know, because there's a lot of tests that have to be run before they can provide you with that information. So for me, it was empowering myself with information and looking and I said I threw a Hail Mary and I emailed the email that they had, and Laura, my gosh, it was like, oh, Sunday, she called me, spent an hour with me on the phone, preparing me for my surgery. It was just incredible. Who does that? Someone who cares. It was my sister who wanted to provide you and care and is telling you the information that you need because she cares. And so then, of course, I met William, and then I started going to the Thursday Night Thrivers. I always say that even though I was going through this diagnosis, this was just a little tiny struggles that I was having. Cancer was just one of them. So I am so blessed because every Thursday I had the opportunity to look forward to meeting with a group of women that were 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and that gave you hope. And I have to say that that's what we are hoping to bring to our Spanish support group. We want to provide that information. We want to provide that hope. We want to. We were just having a support group I think yesterday, and we asked like, what are some of the things that you guys would like to see? So we have a list of things that this is just gonna make our Después de un Diagnóstico that much better, because it's because of people who are listening, people who are providing their feedback, people who are participating. And we just want to thank everyone for such a wonderful opportunity. And it comes down from, of course, the board of directors, the leadership. And so it just bringing and funding this, the funders of Después de un Diagnóstico, without them, we could have not reached so much and so many. And now it's all over the world. And so we are just thankful for all the opportunities, because we do have that many programs, William, and we're going to have that many more. That's my goal.
So I remember when we attended the San Antonio Breast Cancer Symposium last December in San Antonio, Texas. Lourdes and Brenda attended, and this was their very first symposium / conference. And they were asking, well, what do we do? And basically I said, your job is to tackle any of the oncologists, breast surgeons, et cetera, walking by our booth with a South American country of origin.
And let me make a little comment.
Yes.
Literally Lourdes was tackling them. It was literally.
So the instruction or the command was you have to find at least 6 doctors who will record a podcast with us. And of course, you accomplish that within minutes. And you were bringing these various oncologists and doctors to the table. And of course, in a humorous way, I said, no, that's 6 apiece. So we need 12. And then just to capitalize on that, your very first podcast with Brenda and Lourdes was with Dr. Linus Rodriguez out of Ecuador. And she sat on the edge of her seat. I recommend everybody to listen to that podcast. She was so enthralled by the fact that someone cared enough about the Hispanic community, the Hispanic breast cancer community, that would be looking to help resolve cultural issues, socioeconomic issues, and healthcare disparity issues that the Hispanic breast cancer community at large faces. And when I observed the way that she responded to the two of you in that communication, that back and forth, she sat on the edge of her seat, and she was so enthused about the fact that there was that much care, that there was that much compassion. She brought that compassion and she brought that passion to that particular podcast, and then she set you up with a number, I think probably another dozen odd doctors, oncologists, psychologists, radiologists, et cetera, scattered throughout South America. And that's where Elisa is doing her hard work behind the scenes, trying to reach out and to get these medical professionals to come on board the podcast so that we can help continue to break down those barriers. So congratulations.
So much to celebrate. And so, gosh, I don't even know where to like lead from there. I think one of the things that sparks my memory is like, you know, what is the differentiator? Yes, you can come up with a website in Spanish. Yes, you can offer programs in Spanish. I think, Lourdes and Brenda, what you're honing in on is kind of like the special sauce, I would say, of SBC that we're bringing into Después y Diagnóstico, which is that drop everything to help support the person who is in panic right now. When I started this organization, I, came up with survivebreastcancer.org, and I was like, oh, let me set up an email account. Not actually connecting the dots that I'm going to be getting hundreds of emails a day from people who have been diagnosed with breast cancer, looking for support, looking for help, who are scared, who are not sure what to do, who to turn to, or what to do. These are the people who are scrolling the internet at like midnight after their kids go to bed, after their spouses go to sleep, and they're trying to find answers and solace. And I remember that Sunday night, Lourdes, I was on a date night with William, and I'm like, we have to like pause right now and like call this woman. The same thing with you, Brenda. We just drove the 2 days from Boston to Chicago for ASCO. We were so tired. And I'm like, this girl needs us. It's 11 p.m. I don't care. We're going to talk. And so, I think that is just who we are as an organization. But I think that really resonates with where we want to go as well. And so as we're thinking about all of these programs and all of the webinars and these podcasts, we did just launch the Después y Diagnóstico podcast in January of 2023. So people can, wherever they get their podcast or their content, they can search for that and listen. And I think you also hone in on this idea of we're nimble enough to respond to the market demands, right? We started off with breast cancer in Spanish, but you're quickly noticing, wow, I wish we had this for lung cancer. Wow, I wish we had this for X, Y, and Z cancer. And now we're also being able to expand our programs to reach a broader audience and have an even larger impact. And we're still in that kind of incubator stage as well. But it is just incredible to see what we've accomplished in 12 months. So can I kick it back over to you, William, my statistician as well, to talk about like reach and website visitors and like literally I wake up, or talk about your morning routine. How about we start there?
Well, I'm an analytics guy. I have 2 corporate careers, and typically I would start my day reviewing all of the various statistics with regards to the business that I was in every single morning before I started my day. So it's the same thing here. So we use Google Analytics, we use a nonprofit megaphone, data studio, et cetera. We use Weglot. We review all of these various statistics to tell how many visitors, who's looking at the website, what pages that they're really focused on, how many minutes they're focused on those pages. And then over and above that, we have these super viewers who are on for 7+ minutes. And that's really telling, because we're at that stage now where we can have 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 every month that are just studying the website. And they're spending lots and lots of time on it because they're looking for the resources, they're looking for an education, they're looking to give back. We have a lot of opportunities for folks to give back in the form of various get-togethers. We have Thursday Night Thrivers in English. We have Tuesday Night Thrivers in Spanish. We have poetry slams. We have expressive writing and some of the various odd programming that Lourdes was describing. And it's amazing to see how the community can participate in helping each other. And I always maintain that COVID was a mixed blessing for survivingbreastcancer.org. It forced us to perform this incredible outreach throughout the metaverse, and we're being viewed in 121 countries right now. We have an incredible opportunity here to really benefit an awful lot of people's lives. And then getting back to the COVID thing, what we found was that there were a number of veteran breast cancer survivors that were looking to give back to the new community. And people like Gloria Shun up in Toronto, who runs our meditations and our chakras, who is just looking to help the newbies coming through the system. And Brenda participated in one of her 6, 8, 10-week classes, etc. And her focus is on the inner self. And she's really a magnificent woman. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she's a volunteer. We have a Brookshire McDonald, who is 84 years old. I think she's had breast cancer at least twice, maybe a third time. And she has been resident on our Thursday Night Thriver meetup for 3 years now. She never misses a Thursday Night Thriver because she offers that expertise, having gone through it and on multiple occasions. And just, I guess, to speak to her love for helping, even on a gurney in a hospital, she was there for our Thursday Night Thriver group. I could see the cable and I could see the gurney, and she was on a gurney in the hospital, and she was chatting with us to try to help people. That's how dedicated people are in this sphere, in this arena. And I think it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes of the fact that people are looking for help, that people are looking for sustainability and survivability. And once they enter into post-active treatment status, I always say that PTSD starts to occur, post-traumatic stress disorder, because they no longer have their primary caregiver working out the details with them, trying to help them out, trying to support them. Then it goes to family and friends, spouses, loved ones, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. No one can respond to a breast cancer survivor like a fellow breast cancer survivor, because they've already been through it or they're currently going through it. And that kind of support just tingles my spine. And again, we owe a debt of gratitude to COVID, if I can be that blunt and say that it's just been an amazing transition. And then as we slowly expand into multiple languages and multiple cultural issues, and the cultural issues that we're facing in the Hispanic world are not just found in the Hispanic world, they're found everywhere. But we're really trying to emphasize helping this Hispanic population. That it's a significant population in the U.S., and obviously the Hispanic population throughout Latin America is enormous. And I think in a number of countries, breast cancer is the leading cause of death for women. So we want to get away from all of those taboo subjects. We're trying to break down those cultural barriers, those health disparity barriers, et cetera, and get Hispanics to join up with the community, to do the research, to come together and to offer health and support for their fellow Hispanic breast cancer community. So that being said, I wanted to turn it over to Brenda to talk about your incredible weekly newsletter.
Before that, I want to say well, we've been with the group, and we started the support group back in August, September last year. And right now, we started with, it was just Lourdes and I in the first couple meetings. And it was like, we wanted to promote and we wanted to like more people to connect, because we know that this is needed, right? And couple weeks ago, it was like probably last month, we had over 13 survivors joining us. And it just like, my heart, as I was always telling, like my heart felt full when like, oh, we're touching 13 people on this day, and they are all being supportive, and they are just supporting each other. And now we're up to 29 speakers in that WhatsApp group. And to create that community that it wasn't there a few months ago, and now them involved, like giving each other like the post-treatment or pre-treatment, it was just like, it makes me so happy to be part of this group. And then we reach out to all these women, and hopefully we reach out to more. And going back to the question of the newsletter, so we're trying at the beginning, because you guys obviously don't know us, we were trying to make it like, hey, this is Brenda, this is Lourdes, and this is where we're standing in our journey, in a bad way, or in a process. Process, sorry. Yeah, so in our process, and I was in active treatment the whole process since so Después Diagnóstico started. So for me, it was like putting into words all that I was feeling while being on chemo, while being on radiation, while being now on the post-treatment, and how all those medicines affect. So for me, it was very moving to, or not moving, like I just felt calm after writing all those newsletters, showing what was my experience. And then in another side, Lourdes was like, I did with this with my kids, and keep it in take me out of my treatment stage to hear something better, hear something a little bit more happy than what I was dealing with. So it was just, the newsletter has been and for me as an engineer, I don't know how to write, so it has been a lot of learning moments, and now I can write a little bit. But yeah, I told Lourdes, if you want to take over the writing, just do it.
Well, I love writing.
I was gonna say, but your engineer skills, when we were at these exhibits and these conferences, you put up all the banners, like you figure out the logistics of all of that. So thank goodness.
The newsletter, for sure, it has been a place for us to communicate what's going on with what it could be going on with somebody else. So it gives them that window of being able to see themselves through the process that we're going through. Because even though I was diagnosed in 2020, I had so many challenges that it prevented me from starting my treatment. And I actually started this January, my like the medication for the next 5 years. I had so many complications that I think people could relate to some, not everybody, but it gives them an opportunity to see themselves through the process of this newsletter. Now, going forward, as we have completed our year anniversary, of course, in this month is our year month, and we're not going to call it just one day, it's the whole month. So that we can celebrate in terms of, how much more we can accomplish. We are moving from our personal sharing of our stories to more of a, let's see what our audience wants to hear. Let's see what they want to hear. And I think yesterday was one of the questions from one of our members is like, why does a doctor decide to change, or what makes them decide to change the medications that I am on, especially if I'm on stage 4? What makes them change it? Because for me, I'm thinking the more they try, the less, medications that I'm going to be able to be on. So how do they make those decisions? Mm-hmm. So that's going to be a topic that we're going to be bringing on the newsletters. Different topics that are going to be more in a interest of the audience, more of a what's going on with kiddos or things like that. But it is happy. I mean, we're gonna do the sparkle of these are the important events that are happening within our family or in our lives, per se. Because I think out of the group, I'm the only one with two munchkins, and so they have been very understanding, of course, with a couple of changes in our schedule that I have to make. I'm like, you know what? My son just gave me the schedule yesterday, and so of course you guys are awesome. But yes, so that's the goal with the newsletter, is that we make it more focused on the needs of the community and how we're going to be able to provide them information. And if we don't know the answer, guess what?
Find
We are
somewhere.
going to invite the experts, because we are only the experts on our own diagnosis. But I think it's going to be an opportunity for us to reach out to other experts, and a call of for action. If anyone's hearing or listening to us and would like to participate in the Spanish podcast, who have an expertise and can help us with anything related to any type of cancer. So you guys are more than welcome to reach out to us. So yes.
That's it. That's a great plug, Lourdes. I would ask you, how does one sign up for your newsletter?
For the newsletter, they actually can go on the website on despuesdiagnóstico.org, and they can actually sign up for the newsletter, whether that be in English or Spanish. I think you can go ahead and visit us. They're putting despuesdiagnóstico.org or despuesdiagnóstico.org.
Well, as we were discussing, we've translated the website into multiple languages. We do advertise on Google, and we do advertise on Microsoft on the Spanish and the English side. But the other languages that we have translated to at the moment include French, Italian, and Arabic. And that we did that intentionally because that was going to get us all through Europe, all through the Mideast, and then into Africa, especially Africa, because there's 19 countries in Africa that do speak French. But some of the statistics, as Malena would be quick to point out, we're approaching 65,000 Spanish translations of our website, and a total of, at this moment, some 86,000 translations of all of the website into all of those languages that I just mentioned. So obviously Spanish is the big gun for us, and we're hoping to get somewhere in the vicinity of 150,000 translations in the course of a year, which would prove how valuable this resource is for the breast cancer community, and how valuable it is for those cultures that run into all of those incredible barriers. So thank you for that.
Another thing that I wanted to add and actually thank is the group of nurse navigators that have been really able and allow us to provide our information and resources. Especially, I think, me being in Arizona, I'm working with my own place of care, Virginia Piper Center, Honor Health, and the nurse navigators there have opened their arms, their doors. And now we're going to be able to provide those resources that we have in Spanish in the different venues that we have here within Arizona. I think it's over 20 areas that they have invited for us to provide their resources. So same thing with Brenda. Brenda, I think if you want to mention a couple of the
the Adventist Healthcare Center. I'm with the Aquilinos Cancer Center here in Maryland, but they have like 5 clinics, and we're starting to share the information there. And obviously, I'm from Mexico, and I already have like a couple of clinics that I want to point out and reach out to them, so we can bring this global, because the information that we provide and all the resources and all those doctors are donating their times to answer our questions as a patient. So if you know a doctor that is bilingual, or even if with the English side, if they can reach out to Laura, or you can reach out to us and we connect. But everything that we offer is free of charge, and we're here just to serve the community and answer the community's needs. Whatever you guys need as a topic, we'll find the expert that can help us and develop that topic and answer all your questions. It was very powerful last, I believe it was on the one with the lung cancer, that there were a lot of questions that Martha, which she started the Después Diagnóstico with us, that she didn't get an answer when her mom was diagnosed. So it was just powerful for her to have that closure. And that's where we're trying here. Like, if you had someone that had one type of cancer, we can find an expert that will make your closure, will do that. But if you are the patient and having all these questions, we'll find that doctor that can answer for you, because we're no experts. We're just the medium to provide that information.
Yes, and we want to invite other healthcare sites or clinics that want to participate or get the resources that we provide. I'm reaching out to Ironwood Cancer Center here in Arizona. My goal is to provide the resources that we have, because one of the things that I always say is that, my goodness, these resources are free. That makes my job a lot easier because I don't have to sell anything. But guess what? I have to say that personally, I'm a great sample that this and the services that we provide works.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for surviving breast cancer, like I said, it just provides that care, that support that you need as a patient. And I think providers will love to see their patients flourish and, have other group of women that can provide them with the correct information, because we are providing them with information that is coming from the experts. And we always say, please consult with your doctor. Mm-hmm. We are not, we're not providing a special diagnosis for any individual. Follow the guidance of your own group of oncologists, but come and get education on the different topics that you're interested in, because our oncologists will provide that information.
Yes.
But, yes.
So
people by the people.
Yeah. So we have an awful lot in the way of programming and offerings particularly to Spanish and to English breast cancer patients. And we have flyers, the threefolds, we have postcards, we have all sorts of material that oncology offices can distribute to their breast cancer patients. And as you see down on the lower chyron, we have a patient referral form as well. Thank you very much, Lourdes. And we also have the availability of all of this material that we can ship to you. And what we found was that, for instance, at the National Consortium of Breast Cancer Centers in Las Vegas, we attended that conference this March. And this was a conference for nurse navigators and doctor navigators. And they were just absolutely shocked that we were offering something for the Hispanic community, because nobody else was doing that. And so we distributed over 5,000 pieces.
We ran out. We've never run out of brochures at a conference.
So, and then
you had to start rationing.
And then to speak to what Lourdes is doing in Arizona, I've shipped out thousands of pieces of paper, lots and lots of material, lots of giveaways. She attends these medical fairs, and just like we do on the national level, you can do it on the local level and really help out that Hispanic community. And if you're looking to volunteer, if you're looking to help out, please be sure to reach out to us. We're more than happy to take you in and to train you as to what Después Diagnóstico is all about, or surviving breast cancer is all about, and looking to really help this population that is in need of an awful lot of help. And I got asked at one of the conferences we were asked at in North Carolina this year, the Young Survivor Coalition conference, and one of the folks that was chatting with me at length said, aren't you concerned that people will steal your ideas? And I said, no, my job is done. If you're helping that many more breast cancer patients, that means that I'm helping them too through you. And so they put a big smile on their face, and they recognize that we're all in this together, and we're all trying to alleviate a lot of the mental stress and the agita that is associated with a breast cancer diagnosis. And again, as I mentioned, that PTSD, in an effort to try to help those diagnosed return to a relatively normal lifestyle. And again, normal is in quotes, because after you've been diagnosed with cancer, there's nothing that's normal, and we're simply trying to alleviate an awful lot of that stress through their support and through education.
I call it share the wealth.
Yeah. And we know what Brenda calls it.
Explode the baby.
Explode the baby.
So we're just so excited. Obviously, we're coming up on our 45 minutes of our live stream. The amazing stories and accomplishments that this team, Brenda and Lourdes, and behind the scenes, Melina and Elisa, have accomplished in such short order. We are celebrating all month. There is so much more to come. And I think, one of my takeaways, and maybe we can quickly go around and conclude with, like, what was a takeaway that you want to leave our audience with, whether it was a theme from tonight's conversation, or if it's something that we haven't discussed that you want to put a pin in for future conversations. Oh my gosh, it's lightning in the background.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think it's a sign, right? Those are the gods being like, yes, you're onto something great. But
I would also like to add, if everyone can share, like, the happiest memory of all the conference and everything that we have done in this year while we go around the room.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for that question. Okay. So I think the one thing that my theme that I want to leave listeners and viewers with is, we are so proud and so thrilled and so excited about the work that we are doing. Tell your friends, tell your oncologists, tell your community about survivingbreastcancer.org and Después and Diagnóstico, and help us get the word out there. We are just so thrilled to be helping the community. We need your help to help us with that voice. And then, gosh, what is one of my favorite moments? There's so many. I mean, I think daily our WhatsApp chat, when I'm like, oh my God, what's going on today? How's everyone doing? The fact that we are in constant communication is a blessing. And you guys always make me laugh and smile.
So one of my big takeaways is that we look, because we're a nonprofit, we look to the community to help. And by helping, you don't have to send money. By helping, you can volunteer, you can take pamphlets, you can talk to high school groups, you can talk to college sororities, etc. You can help to proselytize and to get the word out. And we're happy to work with you and train you. One of the funniest, or it wasn't a funny moment, but it was just a fabulous moment. Again, I harken back to the San Antonio Breast Cancer Symposium, and recalled Lourdes' story and Brenda's story about speaking to Laura or speaking to me and Laura, etc. And Brenda took a call at this conference from a newly diagnosed woman who was on the edge, and she was really, really distraught. Well, over the course of 2 hours, she would hand the phone to Lourdes, and they would walk this young lady back from the ledge and provide that kind of support that is really crucial from an emotional perspective to someone who's been diagnosed with breast cancer. They can't rely on their husbands, they can't rely on their wives or their spouses or friends. They can rely on the doctors, but they also want to rely upon the community. And that's exactly what we offer. So with that, I will turn it over to Brenda.
I just stole mine.
Yeah.
That was my big takeaway.
Your big takeaway.
No, like, for me, my big takeaway is, like, guys, we're here for you. We're doing this because we really saw the need. And anytime that you need any support, just let us know. If you have any topics, let us know. My email address is brenda@survivingbreastcancer.org. Making it bilingual. And basically, like, we're here for you. And every time that we can help you guys to express or just to talk, we're here. And it just helps me a lot. It fills my heart. one of my because William stole mine. Let me think about another one. You caught me off guard.
Well,
Well, I will say we have a participant. She's really new. She's young. She's new to all the breast cancer, and every time that she can connect to any of our programs, she's just loves to promote and say, guys, this is exactly what I needed. This is helping me a lot. So her name is Catalina, and it's just like every time that she connects with all the good vibes and all that. Yeah, I'm not feeling good because of chemo, but I'm here. I'm here for you. It's just thank you a lot, and we love you. And yes, we're here for you anytime that you need.
yeah. And for me, I have to say that there has been, of course, several, like Laura mentioned, but I think the fact that we're paying it forward and by you guys allowing us to help in the community, you guys don't even know it's helping us too. But the other thing and most important that I want to reemphasize is that we are a team. We call it the A team, and if it wouldn't be possible without Elisa and Malena. They
Yeah, can we
are,
show their picture?
yes, yes, they
Yeah.
are the big behind the scenes, and so for me, that's when we needed to hire somebody else to help us with this amazing, wonderful project. I have to say we couldn't have chosen a better team. We
Well,
are.
maybe Milena and Elisa can introduce themselves and say what they do for Después and Diagnóstico.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Milena. I am the director of operations, which pretty much means that I handle all things marketing. So ads, social media platforms, especially on the Spanish side. I've taken up that initiative the past few months, and we've seen incredible growth. I absolutely love the mission that we're on here. I love the impact that we do. I mean, Elisa, the entire team, we see it every day, just with personally speaking to our community members, seeing like the drastic impact that we have. I live my life thinking, if you want to change the world, change one life at a time. And I think that's what we're really doing. I want to share these two messages that we've gotten as we're celebrating our 1 year with Después de un Diagnóstico. One of our community members wrote to us saying, thank you for the support you give the Hispanic community that is going through this process. I give you the testimony of the peace that you have given to my days surrounding me with valuable women who fight and who give messages of peace and information that empowers us. And the second message is from, I think it's the same person that Brenda was talking about earlier. Thank you very much for all your work and support to all the Hispanic women who feel we are part of this family. For all the resources you provide us throughout our process, may there be many more years.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Catalina.
A family.
So I'm Elisa, and I am the director of programs and events in English and Spanish. So I coordinate the programs that we already had in English, started to bring up some new programs as well, like breathwork class, which I honestly invite you to try it next month, since our instructor Jafra is going to be giving us one more class. I'll just put it on the events page so you can check. And in the Spanish team, we are we started new programs back in February, and we are bringing like a lot of I think it's been very challenging for us to know what our community needs, and then once we find a program that you love, that you like, that you're enjoying, then we're trying just to keep it there. And I mean, honestly, our job is to make this process, the treatment, and after the treatment, how your life changes, and all of that process a little bit easier. Our I think our main purpose and goal is just to support you, to be there whenever you need it. It's just a beautiful community, both in English and Spanish. So thank you so much for being part of it.
All right.
You guys.
Laura, did you want to wrap things up?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, amazing. And I have to say, Elisa, I mean, you were attending what we had almost a full house yesterday for our first pilot of breathwork, and you're still glowing and talking about it. So I think that's how impactful some of these programs are. I have to say thank you to all of our viewers and listeners. Thank you to this A team for joining us tonight for celebrating all month as we celebrate the 1 year anniversary of Después and Diagnóstico. I am so excited for where we head next.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You.
Hasta la vista.